Kelly Orchard's podcast for Successful Badassery. You know what doesn't get old? Being called a badass. Turn up your energy with Fruitful Friday. Here again is Kelly Orchard.
That's all right. Hey, thank you very much, Bobby Ocean. This is Kelly Orchard, the Badass Certifier. Yes, I am certifying badasses one podcast at a time for this Fruitful Friday. Hey, you know, last Friday I shared about the story about the record studio recording box, that experience about the mindfulness of the awareness of all my senses. We're doing a little bit more about that today, about being aware of your surroundings, and let you know that Skillset can be taught. This is the month of awareness, which is the second A in the B.A.D.A.S.S acronym. Stands for awareness. And you've got to be aware of your emotions, aware of those around you. We've been talking a little bit about nostalgia and how to tap into some of your emotions that you can be aware of that can improve your mindset, and how to use positive psychology. And today I'm talking a little bit more about being aware of your strengths and how that can work into your business world. So thanks for being here with me on this Fruitful Friday. It's weekend vibes, and of course, I've got some Kelly Orchard's apple a day because it's Fruitful Friday.
Just as apples are a core ingredient to a healthy diet, Kelly Orchard's apple a day is a core ingredient to living a fruitfully badass life.
Here we are back again. Last week I did talk about, I shared the story that I wrote for an English class. It was an assignment, but it was more for creative writing, and we were supposed to go out into the nature and, basically tap into your five senses and describe what you experienced. Well, I took some liberty with this because, I've been a writer for a long time. That's pretty much easy for me to do. So I was actually doing some voiceover recording work for a friend of mine who had built a studio in one of his bedrooms of his house. And so I took the time to experience or pay attention using all of my five senses to document the experience of being inside this recording studio box. And that's what I shared last week. And so we're going to continue with that kind of theme today on this Fruitful Friday. Be aware of your surroundings. Here's another thing. Skill set can be taught, but mindset must be owned. Now, yes, my ability and my skills at being a announcer, being able to read and enunciate, those are skills. But I can tell you this, if I was in a really cranky mood and not in the mindset to put out a positive message, my voice would sound different. My energy would be different. That's my mindset. Skills are one thing. Your mindset has to be in the right place as well. And I can use that for experience in both of the jobs that I do. Even as a psychotherapist, if I am too much in my own head or I'm not working on my issues that I have, I'm not going to be in the right mindset for my clients. Now, that is taking it to extremes, but as far as you're concerned, is what I mean, not for me, that is my job. But for you, you don't have to necessarily be in other people's heads in order to have the right mindset. But it would be beneficial for you to focus on a positive mindset when you head on into work or come home from work, or even if you're working from home and everything is all balanced. Your mindset is extremely important, more important than your skills, and that has a great deal to do with being a badass. How aware are you of your mindset? Because skills are one thing. You may have all the talent and skills in the world, but they alone will not get you where you want to be in life. As a coach and psychotherapist, I teach my clients that your attributes will only take you so far. It's the vehicles that will actually drive you to a fruitful life. Psychologists have proposed lots of different vehicles over the years, says an article in Psychology Today: grit, conscientiousness, self-efficacy, optimism, passion, inspiration, etc. All sounds pretty badass, right? That's right. Where do you think this stuff comes from? I read and then I adjust. There is nothing new, people. But anyway, one vehicle, however, is particularly undervalued and underappreciated in psychology and society, and that's hope. Hope isn't just an emotion that makes you feel good. Hope is important because life is difficult. The branch of psychology known as positive psychology has proven that hope is a dynamic cognitive motivational system. The phrase coined by poet Alexander Pope, "Hope springs eternal," means that people can keep on hoping no matter what the odds might be. So today I want you to refuse to give up hope. What are your hopes and goals? Have you set them? And when you do set goals, do you achieve them? An important part of the process of personal and professional growth is to develop the means of working towards something, the end goal. What is it you really want? More money, success, better relationships, to feel balanced? Whatever it is, that is your end goal. Goals give you hope of achieving. When you set goals for your personal and professional life, you are making a commitment to yourself. And all your hopes of reaching your ultimate achievement will be in sight. When we're in school, basically, our teachers are inspiring us to figure out our hopes and dreams. That's the first step toward learning the life skills that will help us realize those hopes and dreams. Author Catherine Pulsifer said, "To be without hope is like being without goals. What are you working towards?" High hopes are the precursor to high performance. Keep your hopes high, your goals realistic, and your dreams in sight. Now, I love goals and I love managing hope. In fact, I am addicted to hope. You've got to be aware. Remember, we talked about this the other day as well. Action or without the positive attitude is only going to maybe turn you resentful. And having the positive attitude but not taking action isn't going to get you anywhere. So by setting goals and maintaining some hope of getting there, see what I mean? That's how we practice the badass lifestyle, the successfully badass life, is you've got to be aware of what it is that you're working on.
A badass is aware of their emotions, acknowledges their fears and owns them, and knows when they need a positive attitude adjustment. Now you know it. A successful attitude changes when it encounters courage. It becomes badass.
Confidence is one thing. That's right. Courage is another. Those are strengths. Wouldn't you agree? Sometimes, though, you've got to beware of your strengths. When I answered a multitude of questions for a strengths assessment, it was revealed that my greatest strength is that I'm a learner. This made sense to me. Reflecting on my childhood and background is evidence that was clear. I've always loved learning by coming up with new ideas and trying new things. I continue to learn by observing others, active listening, reading, and exploring. Although I've learned much during my past 3 decades in radio, consulting, and psychology, I'm aware that there is always more to learn. That's true for all of us, even genius like Albert Einstein, who said, "The more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know." Do you know your strengths? Are you confident in them? Do you utilize your strengths in your business and relationships? As important as this is, we need to be careful not to narrow our focus on our strengths. If we do, we'll sacrifice balance. For example, I spend so much time in learning mode, reading numerous trade publications, both for broadcasting and psychology, while also staying up to date on trends in marketing and employee development, that I must remind myself to apply what I learn. How do I do that? For me, it's by teaching and coaching. Everything I do professionally includes opportunities to teach as well as learn. Allowing myself to utilize my strengths in learning has provided me with opportunities to become a better teacher, which develops balance. So as you navigate your way to a more successful career and life, give yourself a few breaks. Don't expect to be naturally good at everything. While you exercise your strengths, be aware of opportunities to improve upon what you're not great at. Be sensitive to how your role in your business can help others exercise their strengths and improve upon their weaknesses. Leadership is like raising a family. There are so many changes and challenges in today's business environment that we've all heard that it's described as very dysfunctional. Well, how do you even begin to improve upon that? Think of yourself as the mom and dad of your company, the primary custodial parent of a dysfunctional family. A wise parent seeks answers and help if the kids begin acting out or show destructive behaviors, struggle in school, or have trouble getting along with others. There are often extenuating circumstances that often even good parents couldn't foresee and were unable to quickly rise above. This could be job loss, financial instability, illness, divorce, death, or a pandemic, right? When a parent brings a child in for therapy, they're admitting they don't have all the answers. Whatever they've been doing up until now isn't working and they want help. So whether you're the CEO of an entire organization or a regional director, a market manager, or a small middle manager, or maybe you're the parent of your workplace, in whatever industry you're in, there's plenty of help and knowledge to be gained. You can attend conferences, even though they're virtual now. You can subscribe to leadership newsletters, go to workshops or trainings, whether they're in person or on virtual now. Go outside of your own industry even. That'll provide you plenty of tools for success. So how are the kids doing? Does your team cooperate to improve productivity, performance, revenue, and problem solving? Until you learn how to navigate through disruption, turmoil, competitiveness, and negativity, your work environment will be a dysfunctional system. I spent a lot of years working in that kind of environment without the tools I have today. Our radio business was a family operation, and we were able to share ideas freely. We had complete control of the creativity of our stations, so a simple concept could be discussed in the hallway in the morning, and as a result, we might be airing a new promotion a short time later. Yet, as with most families, other dysfunctional family patterns and conflicts often arose. During the few years that I worked as an account executive in the corporate broadcast environment, I had to learn to keep my ideas to myself or somebody might hijack them. I'm not implying that I hadn't experienced business betrayal during my early years. I'm not immune to the dark side of business. And there was plenty of that with competing stations and other media in our community. But it wasn't happening inside my family's radio station. Our family had a common goal for the station to be a success. Even in a dysfunctional setting, there are some strengths. When I transitioned to a different work culture in my radio career, it was counterintuitive for me to keep my ideas to myself or confined to a small group of colleagues. With the notion of competition between stations, I was discouraged from sharing ideas and thoughts because somebody might steal the idea along with the credit. Think differently. Collaborate. If you must protect what you're doing to compete, then how can we learn from each other? How is anyone supposed to think outside the box? That's not easy to resolve in any business environment, but there's one thing you can do: collaborate more. We don't have to share ideas that shouldn't be hijacked, but we can learn from each other. We can commit to working together to apply new ways of handling different situations, new ways of seeing and perceiving, along with improving communication and behaviors. You need something, and we need to come together. Competition might be tough. The times might be tough. May be hard to find people. There are even more ways than you have to slice any kind of revenue pie. But we can be stronger when we work together. And you can be aware of your strengths and then passing them along, learning from others or teaching others. Like mine's the learner. So I teach. You can discover your strengths. I love being a psychotherapist and building a relationship of trust and understanding with my clients. But not everyone needs therapy. I love watching them improve their lives. Not everyone needs psychotherapy, like I said. Often a person simply just needs to do some things differently, gain a new perspective, cultivate fresh ideas, and establish goals along with accountability. You love your business family. Do what's right for them. Start by discovering your strengths and how to utilize them. Then flip them to see the areas that need to be improved, even if uncomfortable at first. Develop a culture where thoughts and ideas are welcomed freely without fear. Learn conflict resolution and improved communication skills. As you do, you'll find less stress, more happiness, and more balance. You, everyone on your team, and your business, and the entire community will actually benefit. And you can get started with my Badass Habits ebook. So when you just go to my website, licensedtobebadass.com, and download it. And when you get it, hey man, I'll even send you a sticker.
It'd be nice if life had an instruction manual. Even better if it didn't cost anything. Look here. Your free Badass Habits ebook is waiting for you at licensedtobebadass.com. How do you like them apples?
All right, now I've got some apples for you and some weekend vibes on this Fruitful Friday. You know, Eleanor Roosevelt wisely said, great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. Well, I only like to discuss ideas, not necessarily events or people. What are you doing today might not be what you're doing tomorrow. You're inevitably going to change your mind about exactly what you want to do. Understand that there is nothing wrong with that, and just be responsible with your career and your life changes. Be on good terms with your past employers, past relationships, friends, and colleagues. Keep in touch. No door is ever really closed unless you allow it to be. Remember what Richard Koch said about knowing what you want? Everything you want should be yours. The type of work you want, the relationships you need, the social, mental, and aesthetic stimulation that will make you happy and fulfilled, the money you require for your lifestyle that is appropriate to you, and any requirements that you may or may not have for achievement of service to others. If you don't aim for it all, you'll never get it all. To aim for it requires that you know what you want. So show love with undivided attention. Show your love to the person you are with by standing and staying present in the moment. How many times have you been at the dinner table or sitting next to someone who doesn't appear to be fully present with you? I've been guilty of this on occasion, but have learned the tools and new ones to be in the moment and show undivided attention to the person I'm with. That's love. That's awareness. Put away your devices and be present. Remember this simple tip. Multitasking, whether with computers, cell phones, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, paperwork, or email, demands that we think ahead. People who are juggling all these things can't help but think what they have to do next. Sometimes you have too many thoughts and you can't keep up. Refocus your attention on what you're doing right now. Decide to take instant action. Read, answer, delete, and file, so you don't have to come back to do those things later. And sometimes to show undivided attention means unplugging. So for your weekend vibes, here's what I want you to do. Unplug. I know. It's an odd thing for a podcaster, for a broadcaster, for, hey, that rhymed, podcaster, broadcaster. Hey, I'm going to use that, to tell you to unplug. But I often do it myself. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to entirely unplug, no social media, for the entire weekend. So that's what I want to encourage you to do for your weekend vibes. Maybe it's time to just unplug. It's springtime. Be aware of your surroundings. Take a leisurely walk and listen to the birds chirping and smell the roses or the star jasmine. That's one of my favorites. I think that's what heaven smells like. And take the moment to smell the roses, literally, not just figuratively. Do that. Take some time for a nice leisurely stroll. Get out and unplug. That is my weekend vibe prescription for you. So coming up on Monday, I've got something special for you. How to do some marketing. And also my granddaughters are going to be appearing in Mustang Monday this Monday. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Hey, remember, you can get my Badass Habits ebook and get started on your successfully badass life just by going to my website, licensedtobebadass.com, and grabbing the free download. And when you do that, I'll ask you for your address if you don't mind, and I'll send you a sticker, a License to Be Badass sticker. Hey, I got big news, because literally this month, in the month of April, my License to Be Badass is now a registered trademark. So merchandise is coming soon. So I'm looking forward to that. So thank you so much for joining me on this Fruitful Friday.
A podcast for successful badassery with Kelly Orchard. With one focus in mind, your advancement and progress in wisdom, success, personal growth, confidence, and positivity. Now, Go out and be fruitful.